Oh, I bet people's jaws drop.
I saw it down on the Mornington Peninsula, and before he went to South Australia, yes, it was attracting quite a lot of attention.
Well, welcome to a new Dave's Workshop Tours video, the third in this series of visits to the Derby Works, and the second of our tours of the storage and holding area by Greg. And what a car to start on, a Silver Ghost Ute.
Right.
Who'd have thought?
Tell me about the pickup, the Ute.
Yes, I've known the car since 1969.
Right.
And it used to live in Domain Road, South Yarra, on the corner of Domain Road and Avoca Street, in a tumble-down garage where the creepers had grown so long down from the roof that they completely obscured the car from view, even though the garage door was open. And it was owned by a wonderful gentleman known as Patrick Kane White. When he bought the car, it was precisely as you see it today in terms of the fact that it used to be a fabulous Silver Ghost tourer, but before World War II, a farmer had purchased it, and when he'd finished using it as a tourer, instead of disposing of it, he just cut the rear half of the body off and put a tray on it, and it was used for farm work.
Amazing. And that was pretty common in Australia, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
These rich farmers.
Yes. I've seen it before.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that this particular owner, Patrick Kane White in South Yarra, also had the most fabulously original 20 horsepower Rolls-Royce. Now the 20 horsepower Rolls-Royce was the little brother, 7.5 litres, and then the little brother was the 20 horsepower of 3.5 litres. He'd bought the 20 horsepower in 1946,
Yeah.
and it had covered over 500,000 miles.
Yeah. I can still hear you.
When I first laid eyes on it.
Wonderful. Right.
And this is owned by one of our customers who lives in Queensland. Ooh. And he keeps it here because Victoria really is the centre of classic and enthusiast motoring activity in Australia. So he retains it down here,
yeah.
Ready for use. And in fact, the car's just returned from a week's touring of the Barossa Valley.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
Barossa?
In South Australia.
How did it get out there?
Yeah, drove it over to South Australia, drove it back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, that's the pleasure of, if you
Yeah.
like, of what Simon does, is
Oh my gosh.
because of the way he looks after these customers' cars, they have no fear at all about getting into the car and driving anywhere in Australia.
Yeah. So how many are still in the Ute body in Australia now, and presumably a lot have been converted back to body?
Most of them have been converted back.
Oh, I really want to. I bet people's jaws drop with this one.
I saw it down on the Mornington Peninsula, and before he went to South Australia, yes, it was attracting quite a lot of attention.
Yeah.
It's also one of the later Silver Ghosts because you'll notice it's got front wheel brakes fitted from new.
Yeah.
And that defines it as a Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost manufactured in the last 2 years of production, which were 1924 and 1925.
I love that kookaburra on the front. And the silver lady is
The mascot,
by...
that's a Lalique mascot.
Yes.
And I've seen another Rolls-Royce with one of those, which was fitted on the car from new, but it came with a switch. Mm. So at night, you flicked the switch and it illuminated the Lalique mascot.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, today is Originality Day, so this is the third original car. It's going off for a roadworthy shortly and to get new tyres fitted, but we've recommissioned it for an overseas customer.
Tell us what it is.
Yes, it's an R-Type Bentley, and now the R-Type Bentley was the second post-war model. You saw the Silver Dawn out the front.
Yeah.
This is precisely the same body, but with a different radiator. So if you like, it's badge engineering.
Yes.
The Bentleys were more sporting and came with twin SUs, whereas the Silver Dawn, the green Silver Dawn that we had a look at originally, had a single Stromberg.
Right.
So,
which was the more reliable? of the?
They were both reliable, but this one had more get up and go
Yes.
and appealed to a different type of customer, to the Silver Dawn.
And what sort of ratio of sales did the Bentley?
Oh, the Bentley was far more popular. The R-Type Bentley, they made about 2,500, and the model run was from 1952 to 1950, very early 1955.
Yeah.
So mass production as far as the company was concerned. And once again, it's quite an original car, especially in terms of completeness. So you'll see here, so once again the torch is in place.
Yes.
All the things that should be here are here. Original washer bottle, twin SUs rather than the single Stromberg of the other car, as I say. And I don't think this one's done a lot of miles either. And it's just been sitting in the owner's possession for many years. And he's an expat Aussie, but he's asked us to recommission the car.
Sorry, you say again? It's been sent to you from?
No, it's a South Australian car,
Right,
delivered there.
Okay.
It's not as original as anything else that you've seen so far, so you can see quite clearly it's been reupholstered.
Yeah.
Under here, though, are the original mats.
Oh yeah.
The carpets are certainly original. This was the first automatic model. And by today's standards, it's a bit agricultural.
A good old.
It was certainly different in terms of driver involvement. Automatic gearbox, automatic choke.
That's strange that they would put it on the more sporting car
They actually stopped. You had to. It was a standard fitting. You had to specify a manual gearbox if you wanted. So that was part of the sales drive. We're giving you a new shape. See, here it's actually quite handy because here are the two bodies. This was the first post-war model here. Now note how the rear of the car is completely different. See how it's much shorter at the rear?
Short, yeah.
And it's got wheel spats.
Yeah,
Whereas this is, see how the boot's drawn out longer?
Yeah.
It's got a much more drawn out boot and a lower profile, so there's no wheel spats.
Sorry, which one's the later one?
So this is the later
This is
of
the
the
later
two.
one, yeah.
That was the very first complete car
Yeah.
made by Rolls-Royce. And remember I said to you, there's a number of features in this Mark 6 Bentley here, which was first produced by the company as a complete car in 1946. But if you look inside that, you'll find there's a number of those features which you saw in the window of the car.
Right. Yeah.
The rear blind, the two vanity units, the companions in the back that are illuminated with frosted glass, they're all present as well. So it was produced in direct competition to the coach build cars after World War II.
Sure. And this is when, sorry, that's what killed obviously the coach builders.
Yes.
They bringing the bodies
you
in.
can walk in.
So they bought. Who did they bought at that point? They bought
They
Park
bought Park Ward before World War II, but you see, that meant you could buy this off the showroom floor.
Yeah.
You didn't have to wait umpteen months that you would have had to have made because the coach builder wasn't going to make your car until you asked for it. Yeah. So it shortened the wait period by 6 months when you buy that straight off the floor as opposed to buying the chassis, sending it to the coach builder, discussing design and specifications, etc.
Did they build anything in Derby, the factory?
Oh, yes.
The body?
Not a Derby, a Crewe.
No, it went to Crewe.
Yes.
Yeah, by that point. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So this was manufactured at Crewe, but when you consider that there was no paint department, no trim department, it was an exercise of the utmost difficulty in, first of all, starting these departments from a standing start in World War II, and then engaging craftsmen of the Rolls-Royce standard.
Right.
Because they had to
So they didn't
compete.
pull everybody up from London from Park Ford then? Do you not think? Did they have to relocate?
That I don't know, because they still own Park Ward at this stage.
Yeah. But did Park Ward shut down in London?
No, it didn't.
Ah.
No. Park Ward was still making special bodies,
Yeah.
and the Corniche range that you're familiar with was all manufactured by Mulliner Park Ward, because they also then purchased H.J. Mulliner, so that was a wholly owned Rolls-Royce subsidiary.
Yeah.
But you can see here many of the familiar features. There's your vanity at the back, there's your blind,
Yes.
there's your picnic tables, there's your footrests.
I remember, it doesn't like my friend, we were 18, 19, and he bought a Vanden Pla
Yes.
1300 little Austin. No.
Oh,
Would
that
have been
poor
Austin?
little thing, yes.
With the
yes.
The picnic tables in the
Yep.
back. We thought we were kings going around. Would that have been Austin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Van Pla.
Austin Burnham Prime. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. Paul's back in attendance over. Oh, that's the Bentley that
Yes.
we saw in the.
That's getting
First
having the engine rebuild.
Oh right. Okay. Oh, okay.
So I reckon that's about it for the until next time. But
Yeah. Well, I think we've got an hour-long show at least at the moment. Lovely little racer there. Little Healy or Austin? Yeah, it's Austin Healy, isn't it?
yeah, that's a car that Simon used to race.
Oh right, yeah. Okay. Well,
And as you can see, we've got this Vauxhall here. So in other words,
Vauxhall.
although most of the work that Simon and the team undertake is on pre-war and early post-war Rolls-Royce and Bentley, once you're a customer of Simon's, he'll work on whatever you've got because he has the capability to do that.
And this is when Vauxhall was
That was when
premium
Vauxhall
brand?
was a proper company
Yeah.
and not owned by General Motors.
Yeah. But would it have been, I mean, obviously probably not at Rolls-Royce standard, but it would have been a premium brand.
Oh, it was certainly, and it was very much a sporting car
yeah,
too.
right, yeah. Sorry, what year is this?
Until you wanted to go around corners.
Right, oh, okay. Oh, it was pre-facing
So this
being an American then.
is pre-General Motors takeover, which I think happened in 1927.
I was going to say 29, but okay, yeah. 20.
But lovely unpainted aluminium body, which was quite popular at the time.
Yeah. Sorry, what year is this?
I know that it's pre-1927.
Yeah.
It's got two-wheel brakes rather than four-wheel brakes, so it's probably an early one.
Yeah.
So I would say that the fact that it's only got two-wheel brakes makes it early 1920s
Yeah.
rather than mid.
Okay. Lovely.
But it's lovely to see them with their original bodies, many of which were lost. And it's also, I would say, I don't know whether it's got louvers in the bonnet, which suggested that it's maybe that the body was made here. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow. Really?
Well, I see a lot of the bodies that came in from England didn't have louvers in the bonnet because they didn't need them.
Need them,
But
right.
by golly, you
yeah.
need them here.
Crikey, yeah, there you go. Oh, look at that.
And you can see the louvers on this
So is this
25 horsepower Rolls-Royce.
Yeah.
And once again, there's a bit of a sort of a style statement here because the louvers actually finish here and these are fake. But they're put in for effect to make the whole bonnet seem longer.
Right.
Because that was the fashion at the time,
Yeah.
was to sit in the car and behind the steering wheel and gaze along a mile of bonnet.
Sure.
And so that was just a little stylistic tweak to make it look like it had a very long bonnet.
Yeah. For a sporting car, why have they got all that room in the back?
Oh, fabulous.
It's crazy, isn't it? Okay. Well, yeah, right. Okay. Well,
And
I'm going to have to come back for this Mercedes story at the back here. Bush.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of only 4 in the world.
Oh, hang on. Come on then. Let's You might have to have an hour and a half long.
But I'm
shall we?
ashamed, well, oddly enough, it's a pre-war diesel.
It just gets better.
And I think there's 2 at the Mercedes Benz factory and 1 in the States and 1 here, and that's it.
Seriously?
So the engine was converted to petrol, so we're converting it back to its original oil engine specification.
The same block? How does that work?
Ask the smart guys in there.
Right. Oh, stunning, mate. Absolutely stunning. Well, Greg, oh my gosh. We'll come back for the rest. That's no original paint, surely.
No, it's not. It's a very enthusiastic colour.
Yes, yeah. Well, Greg.
That's Simon's Racing Bentley.
Oh.
And Paul, who you met before, Paul is a pattern maker and worked for Repco when it was a proper company.
Right.
And so Paul's made
Don't
up.
put them down. I might be looking for them to sponsor for sponsorship.
Paul's made up. He's he's made the patterns, and we've had cast the casing for the supercharger that Simon's going to fit.
Sorry, Paul's made.
Paul has made. One of the things that you'll find is there's people in Melbourne with the most incredible array of skills, and they never cease to amaze me when I come across them. Yeah. So here's this guy in his 80s who loves working here, who makes patterns, and you should see the result of the castings. They're just a work of art. So the patterns are a work of art, just the attention to detail.
Yeah. Well, Greg, I appreciate your time.
Pleasure. I must get back to work too.
That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Well, that's it for this time from the Derby Works. As you can see, there's plenty I didn't get round to covering back in the workshop. Some new in, others awaiting their turn, or as usual, parts. We'll get around to them at some point, but in the meantime, please like, subscribe and share for more Dave's Workshop tours to come. And while you're waiting, why not try this video from the DWT back catalogue?